All right, so go live while Greg's distracted. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to.
Well, hello there, Mr. Nick. How are you tonight? I hope you had a good bike ride and a nice beer afterwards, and I hope you're going to get enough sleep tonight. Hi, Lee. Hi, Redbeard. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you're all here.
All right, so.
Am I distracted?
For a second. Yes. Hey there, beer tubers. That's so professional. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Maxwell Starr. Tonight, doing the show in Swill edition, where each of us brings a beer. No specific theme, just a show and tell. So, first and foremost, let's start off. Who we have with us tonight, and we'll start off with the beard, who is got Moo Cow next to him, all laid out and furry. Cute.
I think she's alive. Pretty sure. Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing too bad.
Good.
Yeah. So, what did you bring with you tonight?
I grabbed something I've had for a little while in my fridge. A bottle of Vine's Big Red by Bellwoods.
Ooh.
It is a barrel-aged wild ale with Niagara Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon grapes, coming in at 9% ABV. Yeah.
The Vines.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. All right.
It's a series of oak-aged wild ales that celebrate wild wine grapes in all manifestations. Ooh.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Beard. Let's move over to Lee of High Tide and Vibe. I almost wanted to say Harlock or whatever it is. How you doing tonight, first of all, Lee?
This is the highlight of my week so far, so you tell me.
Yeah. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll take anything I can get right now.
All right. So, what you bring with you tonight? What you got for a beer?
Okay, so I still haven't done the official research on this. Where is this now Kingston's own Roofhound Brewing, or are they still got a place somewhere else where they brew their beer? I can't remember. I know they closed down their other fucking tap room or whatever the fuck.
The one that was in Digby's gone, yeah.
Yeah, but this is their Foolishly Optimistic IPA at 6%. So it's
optimistic.
Just a IPA. There's nothing special. No barrel aged wild saison on oak butts or whatever Redbeard's got going on there. Yeah, just an IPA.
All right.
Delicious oak butts.
We love oak butts.
Mm-hmm. All right. Like big oak butts, and I can't lie. All right, so let's go over to Greg. And hi, Greg.
Well, hello, Nick.
We already know how Greg's doing because he interrupted us at the start of the show and started.
Well, you didn't ask how I was doing. I was actually asking how you were doing, and then you didn't interrupt me, and my feelings are a little bit hurt. But I'm okay, Nick. Thank you for asking. And since I put a poll out, and it was a lot of you voted, and with 100% of the votes, with Carrie being the only one who actually voted, we're doing Solstice.
Yeah.
So, and this is, now I know we have done this. We haven't done this one specifically. This is the 2021. I believe that was last year's one. So at this point, I guess it's 8 months-ish old. So, yeah. I think we did the 2019 one, and we all quite liked it.
Yeah, I remember it was like a special one-off episode that we did on the weekend because Chris Lezak was around. He's not around during the week. Even though every time we suggest, it's like, "Whoa, should we make changes to the show? What can changes?" He's like, "Oh, you can put it on the weekend." He's the only one that actually wants it on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But Greg wouldn't be here if he was on the weekend. He doesn't love us enough.
I would be here if it was on the weekend. I don't care. I can do it any day, pretty much. I don't work like a weird shift. So no, I work Monday to Friday. So unless you do it during the workday, I'm fine.
Oh, all right. All right, so I guess that leaves tired old me tonight. Picking up the slack here. Well, there's no slack.
I thought you were about to say picking up the slut. What?
Oh, I wish. This is one I've been sitting on for a while. I dug this out of the cellar, and this is from actually a brewery that no longer exists, from what I recall. This is a beer that was I think I got it through a beer order that I placed prior to the that I went in with Ashley on prior to for 2019 Albino Rhino Beer Fest, the Welland Piss Up.
Oh.
But I've still been sitting on it. It is my last bottle of Half Hours on Earth one voice in the cosmic fugue, because now half hours on Earth is one voice in the cosmic fugue. It is an oak-aged farmhouse pale ale, mixed fermentation pale ale, aged in oak brewed with oats hopped with Citra and East Kent Goldings is 6% ABV, bottled February 2019. I mean, all that considered, I'd usually like half hours on Earth of Sours. I'd figure a sour would last, so hopefully this one will. If not, I got a backup here.
They'll probably just get more sour. So that's.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's half hours on Earth. Usually, I always figured that stuff would be pretty bottle conditioned. So, all right, I've already given my history on the beer too. So, well, let's cycle back. We don't have any comments here. We don't even have any viewers right now. So, if anybody's not watching, then let us know what you're not drinking. So,
yeah,
let's go.
They're doing a great job of doing that right now. Actually,
That was awesome.
All right, so cycle over to Carrie here. Hi, Carrie. Your beer. You got a little bit of history to it. Like when you've had it in your fridge for a while, you said.
Yeah, I did a few massive Bellwoods orders, like I guess pretty much end-ish of last year, and I've had this since then. I've got still a few other weird Bellwoods beers that I grabbed, and just I don't know, haven't really had the inkling to grab them yet. And as far as the wild ales and spontaneously fermented ales and shit like that, they used to kind of scare the crap out of me, but some of the ones I've had from Bellwoods lately have really kind of shocked me, I guess you could say, a little bit. Like, this is mildly surprising.
All right. Cool story. Let's move over to Lee. And Lee, your history with the beer.
okay, so I have done a review on this on my channel. I've had it a couple times since then. I picked it up because, every once in a while I get nostalgic for like the stubby like fucking bottles. Oh, this is a tall stubby. And I just kind of like that Roofhound still puts them in these bottles. It's just kind of a novelty thing at this point. But I'm always interested in trying anything new Roofhound's got going on too. Just something I haven't had of theirs, even if it's just a standard IPA. They tend to not go all foo-foo and fancy with their beers. They tend to make really kind of throwback, just classic stuff. Although I will say their menu at their fucking their tap house, very fucking foo-foo. Like, oh, here's our organic burger with asparagus sprouts in it and all kinds of other bullshit. And it's, by the way, it's $15 for the burger, and you get maybe like 2 home fries next to it. It's like, you need to fuck off of that shit. But that being said, they generally make pretty good beer. So I did do a review of this, and I liked it. And we'll see what I think of this one, because these were bottled in June, and there is a noticeable difference between the earlier ones I had and these aged versions. So we'll see.
Could it be bottles versus cans?
Honestly, as much as I love the fact that Roofhound puts them in the cool bottles, I wish they would can. I really do wish they would can. I think they kind of hit the same problem that like Picaroons did back in the day, where their stuff in bottles would, it's good on the shelf for maybe a month and a half before you start really noticing, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have bottled this. Maybe you should have made it.
Light's evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had some like Roofhound and Annapolis stuff. The time I visited both of them in 2019, I had some that I sat on for a couple of months, and they didn't. Yeah, no, I should have drank them fresh. But
no, they
were bad.
They're destined to die in the torture dungeon you call your cellar. So,
where this think about it, this beer that I'm drinking now was there when I had those beers in my fridge.
Yeah, where IPAs go to become really shitty amber ales.
Oh, God. All right. So, Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
I know you. No, not too bad. I know you have a history with this beer, so cough it up.
I do. I'm just trying to see where my first check-in on this is, because, well, it's only January 2022, but I don't. Oh no, wait, hold on. Yeah, that's my first check-in on this beer.
If you check the Etobicoke Police Department's website, you can see the mugshot where the history is detailed between him and this beer.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with maybe enjoying about 6 of these in the period of about half hour on an empty stomach. Nothing wrong at all.
No.
Apparently, my first check-in was in January 2021. 2022. I find that I find that hard to believe. But anyway, that's apparently what they claim. I thought it came out in November, December, and I would have had it then. But anyways, I've had of this particular vintage. I think this is the third one that's actually come out. I think they bring it out every 2 years. So I think 17, 19, 21. So I guess 23 will be probably the next one. And I've had this one. Oh man, I must have about 7 or 8 bottles of this at this point. I love this stuff, and they still have it. I mean, this stuff is a shelf turd at the brewery. They just have it forever. So I can go buy more. And this is my last bottle, so I will go buy more because it's good.
Potential incoming Dan.
Don't get
Incoming Dan. Watch out.
He just asked what the theme for the show and Swill was.
Okay.
Fridge enjoying, dude.
I told him that the theme is show and Swill.
You gotta be gentle with him. I discombobulated him last night on Carcassonne. He's still not right in the head, so he's gonna have trouble figuring these things out.
Won that game by 3 points.
Yeah. Awesome. Coming for you next, by the way, bitch.
I'm just never farming again.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
All right, so we're gonna wait for Dan, throwing off the pacing of the entire episode. I'm gonna give my history on this thing again. So I already said my history. I probably shouldn't have about how long I've had this in my cellar. Honestly, though, it's Half Hours on Earth, and I kind of figured that they were the kind of brewery that it would last because they usually have very much like Belgian theme, like lambic style, like sours that or wild ales that they generally did pretty well. And I think it was, when did they shut down? It was last year, Greg?
Might have been the year before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's COVID kind of blurs everything. I sort of think it's been longer than a year.
Yeah, Half Hours Under. I know that he decided that he wanted to do other stuff, but I remember they were big for a while. I remember we did like a huge like group beer order, knowing that we were all going to get together at the Well and Piss Up in 2019. So I've been sitting on this beer for 3 years, and I think they had like a bunch of beers that I think that were canned, and then they had some special ones that were a bit more expensive that were bottled. And this is kind of like the last one that survived. The other ones I drank, and this one I kind of saved because I felt it was kind of special. I can't remember if this is one that I saved because somebody else had one and I was going to drink, or it just kind of fell between the cracks, which isn't uncommon for a beer to do around my place. So,
you could just think. It's I doubt it, but it's possible you're drinking the last Half Hours on Earth beer ever right now.
Yeah.
One. Wow. It's just like Half Hours on Earth. Only one voice in the cosmic fugue. How the big wide stream. It's almost poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were always kind of weird with their names.
Forever silent, and we will be heard. Know it forevermore, or no, nevermore.
See, that's what happens when you're a brewery and you name your beers all really weird shit instead of stuff like Skirt Razor or like Bra Ripper or Fuck Puller or something cool. You go for something poetic and shit. No one buys your beer, and then you go
Twat Shaker.
There you go, Twat Shaker.
It was on the side of that pickup truck I saw a couple days ago.
So, according to Half Hours on Earth, they stopped. They shut down in October, but 2021 last year. But they stopped brewing in July of last year. So it was a year ago this year that they stopped production.
Okay. Here's a random tiny side note thing. Compass Brewing in Timmins is closing down at the end of this month, out of nowhere. Makes me kind of sad. They made a
Compass.
Yeah. I brought some of their beers to the they gave me that free growler of their Imperial Stout that I brought to the Piss Up.
Yeah, I think forget if we drank some of that. I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, it was great. It was called Shipwreck.
Are they going out of business because they were giving away too many free growlers of their really expensive beers?
No, I think honestly, like there's the other brewery in Timmins is Full Beard, who, as far as I know, is still doing great. But Compass just never really was able to really get going for reasons I'm not really sure of.
Maybe that's the question now. Has the bubble finally popped on Ontario breweries?
Again, like Timmins is roughly North Bay-ish size, and North Bay has got 2 pretty successful breweries going on. I feel like Timmins, like the Compass was making great beer. I don't know what they did wrong, but I feel like it wasn't anything as far as like the market goes. I feel like it was probably on them not marketing or just, I don't know, something. Like they were making pretty tasty, pretty consistent beer. They weren't ever in the LCBO or beer store from what I know.
No, that would probably be a big kicker.
So I'm pretty sure COVID slapped them in the face. That'd be a bigger thing too, especially like COVID. People are still going to the beer store and LCBO.
Yeah,
Not being able to go to restaurants and buy their beer and stuff. I don't know, but made me kind of sad.
yeah. Yeah, Greg was saying how it's like, I don't know quite what year it was that, they shut down or whatever the fuck. And it's like, yeah, 2020, it's kind of like there's 2020 BC and 2020 AC. So you got before COVID and after COVID.
AC and DC.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheesy metalhead stuff, let's have Dan.
Hi,
Dan.
You're wearing an expired shirt.
What is it?
Okay, it's a little
shirt.
Yeah, so is the Albino Rhino Beer Fest, but we don't go after that one now, do we?
We love the Albino Rhino Beer Fest, Dan. Don't be a prude because you couldn't go.
I haven't gone yet.
Well played, Greg.
You'll probably never go to an
never
Albino
will.
Rhino Beer Fest unless we all travel to whatever butt fuck know where he lives now.
They have a
It can
KFC. It's
happen.
not completely nowhere.
Yeah.
Instead of little like festival tents for every brewery, there's a little igloo set up for every brewery.
All right.
Jesus,
So
that's racist
while
as
we're here, entertaining our one viewer who, if you're somebody who isn't one of us is watching, then let us know what you're drinking. We interact with everybody that comments. This week's pretty dead for comments, but Dan, hi
Yes.
Dan. First
Hi.
of all, how are you doing tonight?
I'm ready to drink.
Good.
Nice. And what you barbecuing? I know you were barbecuing something.
I'm barbecuing drumsticks tonight
Nice.
in a garlic and herb sauce.
Oh my
Oh, we finally revealed who the chat one is. Final chat. Hi guys. Hi Chris, Mr. Off the 10th. And let us know what you're drinking.
Yeah, why the hell aren't you here?
Why
It's
you're-
a show and Swill. Like
That's another thing, yeah. All right, so Dan, what'd you bring?
I brought something that's brand new from Cabin Brewing. It is it was packaged on the 14th of July, and it's called Ultra Saturation.
Whoa.
that's way too old. Just dump that down the sink.
Yeah.
So,
And
if anything,
It's-
that's probably going to be the most
What is it?
popcorn
I'm
thing
assuming a
ever.
hazy
Is it glittery?
IPA.
it's glittery.
Is the beer glittery or just the can?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's a hazy IPA with Phantasm and Cryo hops.
Oh,
Nice.
I
Okay.
like Phantasm.
So yeah.
Bellwoods makes a really good Phantasm IPA.
Boy.
Yeah, there's that on the side there too. Damn it. So it's I'm kind of looking forward to it. So I'm gonna crack this
Cool.
bastard open now.
I guess we should go through maybe and let Dan know what we're all drinking because he wasn't here to see everything.
All right, so everybody show off your beers when I put you up on screen because Dan's kind of out of the loop here. Redbeard, we'll start with you because you were first one here.
Bellwoods Brewery, Vines, Big Red, Barrel Aged Wild Ale with Niagara Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon grapes, 9% Abava.
Weren't you someone that didn't like wine-ish in their beer?
You know what? I mentioned that earlier. Yes, like wild ales and spontaneously fermented ales and shit. I used to be like, oh God, no, and
You've grown.
All right, keep moving here.
the palate
Lee,
is mature.
what you got?
I have a Foolishly Optimistic IPA from Roofhound Brewing.
I like the name.
Nice. All right, of course we
I-
got. Oh, so
I was just going to say I haven't decided if this is supposed to be a fermentation tank or a diving bell because it could be either on the fucking.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a fermentation tank.
Yeah, it was just I was kind of like, oh, maybe it's a diving bell. That'd be
maybe
cool.
they repurposed
Yeah.
a fermentation tank and made a diving bell.
Yeah,
As
you
a
can do
diving
that.
bell.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how they turned a tilt-a-whirl into a spaceship in the Explorers back in the 80s.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, that's reaching. All right. So, Greg, your beer.
Solstice.
There you
Great
go.
Lakes Brewing
What?
Solstice.
This is probably the most Dan-like beer.
Hmm.
Dan likes his barrel-aged beers.
And finally, me. I've got my last bottle of Half Hours on Earth. Come on,
There it
focus.
is.
One voice in the Cosmic Fugue, Oak Aged Farmhouse Pale Ale. Pale ale aged in oak, brewed with oats, hopped with Citroen Ace Keg Buildings. Bottled in February 2019. As we were just discussing, Half Hours on Earth has been shut down for a
Mhm.
year now. They stopped brewing beer in July and have shut down completely in October of last season. So, Half Hours on Earth, this could be their last bottle. Well, I doubt it. There's probably some collector out there that's got a bottle under cellar. This will answer whether or not this one in particular would have held up. So let's without further ado, are we ready to give some final schmutz for
Sure.
these beers?
Yeah.
All right, so
We got two more comments first. Chris isn't here because he's going to bed soon.
I'll get you
No
the-
excuse. You could have done this and then gone straight to bed afterwards.
Exactly.
Hashtag bad friend. And he says Greg should have drank the other option in the huge poll that Greg conducted earlier.
Oh, you could have voted and you didn't vote, so
That would have been a tie. He would have had to drink both. We could have had a cuvee.
Mm-hmm.
I bet those beers honestly
I
mix
actually would have done a cuvee. Actually, though, Chris and Carrie should be happy I didn't do the Bring Out Your Dead because I would not have good things to say about.
No,
that.
I know it's way too way too sweet in your opinion. Anyway,
way too sweet. So
going into this, this is basically carbonated, unbelievably delicious grape juice. I actually brought it upstairs off camera for like a minute and let my mom try it. She hates beers. I always let her try a little sip of random fancy shit. She loved this. Yeah. I don't know exactly like what the wild ale style kind of how well it's represented here, but I love it. So I'm just going 10s across the board. This is ridiculous. It's like tart, but not sour. It's just fantastic, delicious, fizzy grape juice. And there's zero hint at all of the 9%. Like a tiny little hint of the barrel kind of in there, but yeah, fantastic.
All right. So what was your ratings on it again? I missed that.
10s.
10s. They're fucking 10.
This is so damn good.
All right.
I have another bottle of Vines, but it's a different variation, so I'm now very curious about that one.
Review it.
I might.
All right. So, Lee, your beer.
So like I said, you can definitely tell this has changed a little bit because of the age. When I had this super fresh, it's a very old school IPA that's like very much like a real dank hop slap kind of to the face thing. It's very West Coasty, very dank, very piney and resinous, and just almost to the point where it's like you're scared to have more than two in a night because you're afraid you'll get like hot burn from it. Like I don't know what the IBUs are supposed to be on this, but it feels like they might be kind of big for something so generally unassuming when you just look at the label where it just says it's an IPA, whatever. It's not super complex. As I'm drinking it now, a couple months in, sitting on a shelf, the hop, like just the bite of the hops has really died down a lot. Like a lot of that kind of pininess is kind of smoothed out into, you know how some beers when they're dank but they fade, they can just start tasting like pot basically. And this is kind of what it's like now. It's kind of tasting like pot. It's still good, but it's now at the point where it's like, this is kind of like, you could get away with saying this is like my hemp pale ale or something like that. Like that's how much it's reduced in sort of hop bite and how much the flavor has changed. That being said, when I did review it initially, I gave it an 8.5 for style because I thought it was a really good kind of strong throwback IPA. And I gave it a 7.5 for my personal preference. If I was to rate it again tonight, I'd say, in this faded condition, if it was the first time I was having it, I'd say like a 6 for style, because I would have just straight up called this a pale ale, and I probably would have just gave it a 6 for personal preference, because it just doesn't, it's not as exciting when it's not super fresh. So basically, I do recommend this beer. It's just make sure you get it fucking super fresh. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But that's where I sit on it.
All right. Awesome, Lee. That's kind of, I guess, a little bit disappointed too. It's faded off quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I'm remembering the initial couple bottles I had when it was super fresh, and it was like, wow, okay, that's a nice big, like, the pininess to it is so intense that it's like, if you guys are familiar with what pine tar is like, where like just the smell of pine tar, and
it's
then
a fantastic fire starter.
and that translates right over to the taste when it's fresh. So it's like it's just all pine tar all the time kind of thing. It's a very one note IPA, but it's a very kind of good one, and it's a shame that it fades so much in only like a couple months. I'm kind of disappointed by that, but what can you do?
All right. Awesome there, Lee. So thank you very much for that. Let's move over to Greg.
Oh, hello, Nick. How are you this
Hi,
evening?
Greg. I'm
So
not bad.
this beer basically is following the same trajectory as previous vintages, where you get it fresh. And my only notes for it when it was fresh, it was a bit thin. So I do remember feeling that, like, you almost like you almost got the booze too much on it, but there was just no body to the beer. It just felt like a beer that had been aged too long in bourbon barrels. Then, ironically enough, a couple months later, like, I've had several bottles of this. Now, it could be bottle variation too, but ones I've had a few months down the line, they almost seem to lose a lot of that booziness, like, it's not booziness, but like the bourbon character. And they seem to have picked up kind of a chocolatiness, which I don't really care for. Some of you dessert beer people may have preferred that. And it definitely thickened up, but it wasn't really to my taste per se. And now the beer has switched back where it's maintained a little bit more of a thick body. It's still not super thick. It's medium body at most. But it's picked up the bourbon flavor again. Again, I don't know if this is bottle variation or age, but I will say it seems that the longer this beer ages, the better I enjoy it. And I noticed that with the last vintage too, is after about 6 months, the beer really kind of hits its stride and really is good. Whereas fresh is kind of okay, but not amazing. So yeah, I'm really digging this beer. This beer it's smooth. It's not as thick as I'd like it. It's not as thick as some of the old school Bring Out Your Dead or Double Tempest. Although those beers, Bring Out Your Dead's still pretty fucking thick. But last few Double Tempests have been a little bit not as good with that. But yeah, no, this beer is drinking really good. I mean, if you want a thick motor oil coating your mouth, it's not quite it. It's still a little bit, like I say, about a medium body. But flavors there. It doesn't have any of the off flavors I don't like in stouts. And this is one of those beers, honestly, like if somebody just poured you a whole bunch of them and didn't tell you what the ABV was, you could probably knock them back, and then get up, collapse, shit your pants, wake up the next morning in the hospital.
Good times.
One of those things.
Wonder what the thickest viscosity beer ever brewed is.
I can tell you probably the thickest beer I've ever tasted was probably like the 2014 not Bring Out Your Dead, Double Tempest. That was the one that I think we reviewed at Chad's place, and that was just like, I'm drinking motor oil. Like, this is ridiculous.
The beer that's potentially gone forever.
Yeah, I mean, there might be people that still have bottles. I think I drank my last bottle at this point. It would have been, probably about 3 years ago. So, I mean, I'm sure there are people that are still hanging on to them. But I will tell you with Double Tempest, 3 years is about the breaking point of that beer. After that, it does noticeably get worse. But 2 years.
I was saying like they may never make it again now because the whole acquisition and shit. What's going to happen there?
That's not the case.
I'm pretty sure they're going to make it.
You'd think so. That's like one of their biggest things. But at the same time, when breweries get merged, bought out, whatever, by like weird shit can happen. So it'll be.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I think it's going to be one of those Bourbon County things. I think if anything, they're going to upscale it and like they'll release it in the LCBO and stuff.
And you know what? That what you just said never even occurred. That the Bourbon County is an excellent comparison. That'd be cool if they started getting. Well, Nick somehow randomly got a somebody shipped a case or
They
something.
showed
to
up, yeah.
one of his.
Yeah,
friggin-
it showed up in the NB Liquor.
yeah, that's so random.
All right, so forget what you gave it for ratings there, Greg. What did you say?
I don't think he did. Did he?
Let's go as I did not give ratings.
He didn't.
Let's go as a Bourbon Bay. See, this is the problem. Is this is a very
Bay.
crowded
Bourbon Bay.
Bourbon Bay. I can't even talk right now. This is a very crowded genre of beer, a style of beer. Let's go that way. Because I wouldn't feel right. Like I really, really like this beer. It's not a 10 because there are definitely better bourbon barrel aged imperial stout out there. And I'm already slurring my words, and I'm only 3/4 of the way through the bottle. So I really, really like it, but there are definitely better ones out there. Most bourbon counties are better than this. Most double tempests are better than this. Bring Out Your Deads of the past have been better than this. I don't like current ones where they're going, but that's another topic. So this is a solid 9 for style. It's an excellent beer, but there are better examples of it. Mainly, I think the thing holding it back is if it just had a thicker body, it would be a 10 for me because the flavor's there. It's a little too watery, which depending how you look at it, you can drink more of them this way. Like again, you can knock a whole shit ton of these back without too much issue whatsoever. And in terms of personal enjoyment, you know what? I got to give it a 10. I fucking love this beer, and I can't really, the nitpicks aside, I can't really say there's anything holding this back from being just among the beers I enjoy the most. And I am going to buy more bottles of this. And when
pretty tasty, yeah,
it's pretty tasty. And I'll intend to buy this, and who knows, maybe at some point, if I ever get back to doing beer mails, we can still anal this.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who and what is happening in the what?
Dan's going on an adventure.
No, is that Jamie? I'm assuming.
Yep. Jamie.
Okay.
Oh, but he won't show his face. But will he show his penis?
He's gonna
have a beer to show off.
Oh, hi, Jamie.
Hey,
show us what you got.
You get his half hours on Earth glass. What is it?
Cabela's Hunter Boy.
Hey, it's old man Jamie.
Well, I guess that's not Cabela's. That's the Browning, right? That's the Browning logo on your
What is
shirt.
it?
yeah. So this is from Reverence out of
Ooh.
Cambridge. Reverence, one of their barrel club
Nice.
beers, and this is literally my cellar. This is the only thing I have
Oh, there you go.
left, and it's a Creek Method Traditional with Bing cherries. This camera sucks. Sorry, I can't focus on it. I think it's 5.
It's Creek, but they spelled it half creek, like with a C.
Yeah. 5.8%. And
The duck.
I just thought I'd show you this because it's got
Whack whack.
Oh, it's
underneath
one of the ones
that.
like
It's
the
also got
cap and cork. I've seen those before.
so
I'm gonna allow this. Jamie's like super late entry, but I want to know what
Yeah.
his beer's like.
so
Plus, we all secretly want to see it explode.
Also, kind of funny. Jamie's also representing some half hours on Earth there.
Yeah, I know. Is Jamie aware of what beer I'm drinking? He's probably been watching.
yes, that's why I grabbed the cup.
The cup.
Then he grabbed the
He
beer.
just didn't want. He just didn't want to have me outshow everybody. So
That's an interesting wine. Cork.
That's
thing there.
pretty
I
good.
like that. That's a really
Very
cool one.
Texture, yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised that it did not blow up on me. And there's the pour. It doesn't look very red, but it is very red in real life.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
Here's why they.
I have poor
You're
lighting.
ahead.
Yeah, here's why they went out of business is because their fucking glassware is just shitty tumblers.
I used to have a really nice.
Yeah, they really should have had some like
There.
snifters or something like that.
There's
I have
mine, the
another.
color.
I have another really nice one, but it's not available right
Mine
now.
is
but-
insanely red.
They're all packed up.
That is red.
That's pretty cool. All right, Jamie, we'll circle back. First of all,
Yeah.
what's your history with that beer? I know it's like your local brewery or something.
This is I've never had it before, but I with the Barrel Club, they were like every month they release something and you could only get one of them at a time. So this is a one and done, and it is
Nice.
ooh, this what does it say? 2020, 2021. Yeah, this beer is quite old. It's at least a year old.
Nice.
So yeah, circle
Creek,
back.
Creek style. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. That looks actually quite nice, even though it's not a lot of head on it. All right, so who was next? I think we were gonna go switch over to Barbecue Dan.
Barbecue Dan.
Okay, now that's my next week's name. Okay, got it. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just show
So-
up.
Yeah. So what I haven't kind of mentioned was this is actually a series. So the saturation is a series. There was single saturation, saturation, total saturation, and there's about 3 other varieties of their saturation series.
I remember that
Uh,
now.
Double and triple saturation. So this is their latest in their series. And I've always enjoyed their saturation series. It's always been really good and just absolutely stellar. This is still stellar. I really do like it. It is actually going down really quickly for a 7.5% beer. It is actually quite nice. The color on it is just gorgeous. I mean, that's just a gorgeous hazy. The flavors on it, it has that sort of green flavor, but it's not overly green, I guess. It has a little dankness, as Lee was explaining earlier. But it actually has a good roundabout flavor, and I really do like it. It actually is quite delicious. It's a beautiful hazy IPA. It's one of their series that they're still nailing them and just bringing out some amazing beers. Now that they've got a sparkly can, it kind of makes it even more better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Overall, this is actually one of those beers where I'm glad I got it. Picked it up just before coming on here, and they had a limit of 4 cans per person because it's so very limited. But it's worth it. It really
Did you buy
is.
4?
I bought 2 of these and 2 of a Boombox Secret Galaxies, which also has a shiny can. So
You should. Did that one have a purchase limit as well?
no,
Well,
no, it
okay.
did not.
Well, then
So
you slightly failed. Then I want to say.
I wanted to share the experience with other people, so I only bought 2 instead of 4.
Wow.
I was being kind. I bought half the amount of.
Shut up! That's why you did it. Fucking Jesus Christ!
I wanted others to experience and enjoy this
that's
beer.
fine.
Okay?
I feel
Well,
like
you should have only brought 1 then, Dan. What are you doing, man?
I'm a big guy. I need 2.
Dan's the kind of guy that shows up at an orgy with an untested hooker.
Wow.
Jesus.
Well, now you know my secret's out. Thanks, Greg.
Spoilers.
I know where I'm coming next, Greg.
Oh, geez, not on me.
Spoilers. Wouldn't they be called lesions?
All right.
Yeah, spoilers. She had 3 diseases on the checklist. None of them the good ones.
Yeah,
All right.
I am from
Dan.
Alberta after all.
Mm.
Your ratings.
And my ratings. Let's get back on track there. For a style, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's basically a 9.5 for enjoyment. I've down it. It's really easy drinking. It's beautiful. I really do enjoy it. And again, another 9.5 for me. So yeah, it's one that I really should have bought 4 of. Yes, you're right, Carrie. I should have bought 4. So, but I'm glad I still bought 2.
All right. All right. Thank you, Dan. That's so the last one up is Jamie. Are you ready for Talkins?
Are you ready for the talkings?
Oh,
After you unmute
I mean,
yourself?
if you want, I can go before you, and then you.
Sorry,
have
I
more
was
time to think
unmuted.
about it.
I'm good.
Okay. Right.
Sorry about that.
You're
So,
It's all good.
Uh,
So good.
do you remember those? They'd come in a tube. They were called sweet tarts.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes, this is cherry sweet tarts and lemon, basically, and it has a nice level of acidity. Like it's not too tart.
Sounds good.
And it has that same fizziness, like with the sweet tarts. Like it just has that nice little bubble on the tongue. So yeah, it's a good one. It's not really my type of beer, but I posted in the sidebar there the method traditionale, like I I guess the rules to abide by to make this beer, which I haven't read. I just found it online quickly. But apparently this was the first method traditionale brewed in Canada. Apparently that's what the guy said. Or at least brewed for, a wide release. So I don't know. Pretty good. Not bad. Not my type of beer, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Made like a first one made in Canada. It's like truly like a
Yeah,
wild
true release. Yeah.
like exposed to the like the beer exposed to the elements, hopped in a foeder and shit like that. Anyway, yeah.
Wait, what's a
foeder?
Yeah.
So what
is Ashley here to tell us?
Fooder.
Yeah, fooder. All right. So what did you say for your ratings on that one?
I'll give it a 8 out of 10 all around.
All right. 8 and 8.
Yeah.
I want to know, how much do we have to pay for a face reveal?
That's on
Yeah,
Jamie fans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. Yeah.
Only
click.
Jamie fans.
I'll post the link in the sidebar there for the owner.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my credit card, good sir.
It's only $100 a month. So
Jamie, I'll give you a piece of good information. I would say Blind Enthusiasm, when you go to Edmonton, is the best thing you need to do and find there. And that's my thing.
Is that a brewery or is that just a state of mind he has to bring on?
It'll be both. It'll be both when he goes through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a good brewery. So, anyways.
Yeah. I like to teeter between Blind Enthusiasm and Stupid Embarrassment. Just, somewhere in there.
Welcome to my life.
I'm going to try both.
Okay, so I posted the link to the Jamie's thing there at the bottom of his video. This video frame. I'm fucking tired right now. All right, so I'm gonna bring back my camera back on, and I'm gonna sort of lazily interrupt the conversation everybody else is having, just to give my thoughts on this. Probably one of the last, or at least my very last, half hours on Earth beer that I've had since 2019. Amazingly, it's held up. Obviously, the hops have faded on this one here. So you're talking about Citra and East Coast Goldings. I mean, there's a little bit of it still there, but it's obviously it's had some time to fade away. But in this kind of beer, where it's like a nice oak age kind of wild farmhouse ale, that's fine because it's still, everything else about it is still fucking fantastic. Like you get like a little bit of Brettanomyces funk, like the top of it. Like you get the oak tannins from the barrel, or did say barrel? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, aged in oak, so whatever that means to them. So I'm assuming a barrel or a foeder. If we could ever get Ashley to tell us what that means. Comes off with a bit of like a white grape sour to it, mild carbonation, but the carbonation is just right. It doesn't taste oxidized, doesn't taste terrible. It held up beautifully well. Does come off a bit on the mild side. The hops have failed off, as I mentioned, but it's still a very nice sipper with a lot of like a little bit like grape and tart and tannins and a little bit of funk to it, like a little bit of wild yeast funk. Tannic tartness in the fish. It's actually, it really reminds me of like Orval, but it's milder, a bit more tannic than Orval, but it's also less sweet than Orval. So, but it's like, if I'm comparing that to like a True Blue, like Belgian, classic, then that's how good this was. And it really just reminds me of how spot on like Half Hours on Earth was at creating Belgian style wild ales. Like that's all like there's a lot of breweries out there that are trying to make wild ales, and the combination of the yeast they use just doesn't get it right. And this guy was pretty damn good at it. So, whatever happens to him in future business, it's just a shame that like the niche that you had carved out for Half Hours on Earth. I wish we could have survived the pandemic and could have had more. But I mean,
now for those of you that
wild ales are such a niche thing.
Nick may have said this because I'm only half paying attention, but in my opinion, the best thing he ever made, I never really cared for Half Hours on Earth. In my opinion, the best thing he ever did, he created the original recipe for Beard of Zeus, which GLB released.
Oh yeah.
So
I mentioned that in the original beer when we did Half Hours on Earth. There was that that one we all brought back and did a BA 101 on. I remember doing the history in half hours.
That is a constantly wonderful. I'm not even a big barley wine fan, and that is
there was some other beer that he did there was some other beer that he did that he had a hand in. It was, I forget what it was. There was Beer de Zeus was like a winner of a homebrew competition that he won, and then he's also was like the winner at the Toronto Festival of Beer or something.
That's another glass of his.
Let's start a conspiracy where the Belgian wild ale lobby had him killed.
Wow,
that's why they're out of business.
Well, you know what? I truly am on board with Lee's theory, even though I choose not to fact check it. In fact, let's get a convoy together and go to Ottawa.
That's right.
As far as I know, they didn't actually go to business. They changed their business model they went to do something with the environment, and I don't remember what it was.
What? Not make beer? Yeah. Did they went out of business?
That's good for the environment, admittedly.
Yeah. They decided to make some kind of environmental products or something like that.
Okay.
So the answer to what beer did we do from Half Hours on Earth before we did Necessary Juice, which was a sour IPA. Yalla Yalla was the one, the beer series that they had that had a rotating hop bill, but it was like their main beer, I think. I remember having at least one of those. Anyway, the beer that he brewed and won at Toronto Beer Week was the Smoked Porter, which ended up being produced by Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
So Amsterdam Smoked Porter for a while there, a few years ago, like 2011 was his, and of course there was GLB.
Oh shit!
He did beer de Zeus way back in 2014. So
Amsterdam smoking something.
Yeah, that's like before I started drinking craft beer. That's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. Well, that's how long this guy has been around. So, anyway, so to finish off my review, I love it. It's a great beer. I mean, the hops have faded off. It's a little on the mild side, but it's not oxidized, and it held up beautifully. And it's a shame that a brewery that makes a beer this good has gone. So, like style and overall, I'm gonna give them 8s all around. Just a solid by farmhouse ale, even 3 years later. Mm-hmm. All right, and I think that's it. Let's pan out and just talk for a bit. And who wants to read comments? I think
we basically got one new one. It's just Havana 48 ounce says malt liquor.
Malt liquor.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
Gonna have the malt liquor. We should do like a BYOB one.
BYO 40 ounce.
I mean, there seems to be one in every crowd that Coors, malt liquor, whatever else,
But I mean, if we did do BA 101 malt liquor, how many people would just show up with fucking, what you call it? No, Colt 45.
I would not
see that.
I wouldn't. I'd show up with Mountain Crest. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't.
I was gonna say, is Fax 10% of malt liquor?
Yes, it is.
Technically, yeah.
I've still got that can of whatever the hell crazy something 10%.
Oh, it was like Bavaria 8.56 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know Jamie would show up with something interesting.
He would show up with Sammy Klaus.
Sammy Klaus.
Oh, I missed that beer. I had that once like 10 years ago. That was a beautiful beer.
That's a good beer. It shows up
punch in the face, but
it does say malt liquor on the label.
Yeah, it does.
That stupid Trailer Park Boys malt liquor, that was gross.
Oh God, I never had it, but I knew it was going to be bad. If it's anything like their fucking bottom of the barrel whiskey they put out.
Nick, take the.
I'd even try to show up with something with Menhas in it, just for that.
I'm looking up my malt liquor on the my NB Liquor website, and the only thing that comes up is Colt 45 and O'Hara's Irish Stout for some reason.
Really?
What?
No, I don't know.
That's
maybe it's like considered malt liquor by U.S. standards because it's over a certain percentage or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I gotta look into that because O'Hara's Irish Stout, I think, was like
look,
we were talking about.
I thought it's like 5%.
Man,
we were talking about doing it on BA 101 at some point.
I have seen these beers on a channel I follow called Cody Jinx Hat. Do you know him, Jamie?
That's a good channel. Lots of good beer.
If you search malt liquor on the LCBO site, the only result you get is Magnum Scotch Malt Whiskey Cream Liqueur
What the fuck?
for $37. What even is this crap?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering, like, there's got to be some other malt liquor that they don't necessarily call them malt liquor because they don't have to mask the fact that it's actually beer in
It
Canada.
says it says Highland Cream on it.
There's a beer here.
Beer.
There's a
Doesn't
beer here that's 12% malt liquor that's called Atlas.
Atlas.
That
Wow.
I think we did something where we brought malt liquors once, and
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah.
Did we just do Colt 45 or something at one point? Or
we did. I'm pretty sure we did. Okay, what Jamie's holding right there, as far as malt
Mickey's.
liquor goes, I wish I could get that here.
Yeah, like
That's actually pretty freaking good.
I've actually been drinking this since the 90s.
Yeah, it's really good.
would-
I
so
actually
would-
enjoy that one.
would we like what?
Literally longer than Havana has been alive. I've been
Wow. What would we accept as like the alcohol cutoff for a malt liquor? Bring your own beer, like because it'd have to be like a cheap macro lagerish beer, but it would have to be high in alcohol.
well.
I would say probably with Colt
Mickey's
45 though. What's Mickey's?
This is 5.6.
Okay, so I could buy like a case of James Reddy or something like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, like that Labatt, or no, the Moosehead Dry Ice or something like that. Like one of those. Well, I think what's the U.S. definition of malt liquor? Isn't it like any beer over 6% or something, or any beer that's stronger than average?
Isn't malt liquor just supposed to be something that doesn't have hops in it?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what it was.
That's a
what they had
gruit.
That's what they had to market stronger beers as.
Pretty much in Ontario, the only thing that you can get that actually says it is OE.
Yeah, like in America.
I love how
Colt 45
Jamie just
doesn't
has
get-
these things
He's
standing
got
by.
just got malt liquor for his Cody Jinks hat
Jesus
channel.
Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, in America though,
Oh.
like depending on the state and like all the different archaic liquor laws each different state fucking had, it was just more.
All right.
You had to label it a certain way, right? So.
All right, so let's pan back out to me and let's finish off what we the beer BYOB thing, BA 101 part of the episode and go. This is devolved into a chat now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so starting with Red Deer, of all the beers that you had here tonight, other than yours, which one would you rather have had?
I just finished mine. There's actually like a bit of like almost like gritty sediment. It's kind of weird. But it's almost like it tastes like a raspberry seed or something. It's tasty. Anyway, I for the first time in a while, I'm actually kind of conflicted. Like Greg, I've had Stolcis. I like it. I'd like to have it again some point, but currently, Lee, your IPA sounds interesting, but not like compared to basically Dan and Jamie and Nick are kind of really piquing my interest in.
Go for the shiny. Go for the shiny.
I think I'm gonna go with Nick actually on this one. That half hours thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gary.
Cheers.
Let me check that down.
While
We got a radar on the comments saying only missing the Coors Light.
Right.
Redbeard, what is your beer? What is your beer? Redbeard for you?
Mine is Vines Big Red. It is a barrel aged wild ale. It's basic. This is fizzy 9%, unbelievably delicious grape juice. What this is, it's insane. I guess we didn't do that when Jamie came in, like we did for Dan.
Like it's so many.
I think he's just talking.
Jamie was watching. I wasn't.
We can only deal with so many late comers.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is the night of the latecomer. So we're starting earlier because I have to go early. Anyway, so let's move on. Thank you, Redbeard. Let's go to Lee. All the beers you heard here tonight. Blah blah blah.
Some interesting selections. I just got to thinking, like the way my drinking habits have been lately. Last couple of years, really, I've been gravitating more towards like lighter stuff and like light lagers and pilsners and shit like that. And then Greg just throws down this big fucking dark solstice dig on the fucking panel. Like, you know what? It's been a while since I had a really good fucking solid, like, just fuck you. This is the dark abyss of my soul coming to entrance you and just eat you alive. So I'm gonna go with the solstice.
I guess you haven't had that one, obviously, right?
I definitely have not. No.
Yeah, no, yeah, you would like that one for sure. It's a good beer.
I think you would.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Let's move over to who we got next. We got Mr. Greg. Greg. Hi, Greg.
I'm going to flop my big dark dick back at Lee, and I'm going to accept his IPA dick because after a nice stout, I wouldn't mind an IPA. So
there you go. And if you get it fresh, it's
interesting.
There's docking happening right now. Like,
there's definitely some docking.
Greg snoodling with Lee.
Got to get somewhere.
We're doing some space docking. Look it up. What it means.
All right. Look that up in the Urban Dictionary. Don't Google it. All right, so let's go over to Dan.
Well played. Well, you know what? Damn it! I hate to do this. I really do because it's pretty close between Greg and Redbeard. Because as much as I'm not a beer with wine flavored fan, it kind of sounded good. But the amount of times Greg has teased me with his beer, it's kind of seeped into my nightmares that I want it that badly. So, damn it, Greg. I'm going to have to make this a three-way between you, me, and Lee, but I gave you a second vote, so Lee's out. I'm in.
What?
I'm not sure what you meant by that.
I don't
You know what? The funny thing is, in my opinion, Dan, like I've had some of the imperial stouts and stuff that you have access to, and you've got stuff that kicks Solstice in its face. In my opinion,
still one that's tempting.
No. I'm just saying. Like in my opinion,
listen,
you've got access to some crazy barrel.
You
got some pretty fucking good imperial.
Listen, just because you've hooked up with a bunch of nines doesn't mean sevens aren't fun either.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that Solstice is bad by any means. I'm just saying Dan has got access.
Yes, but I know
regular access to some
crazy Dan. Stuff. That's the thing is Dan needs the foreplay. I give Dan the foreplay. And this point with Dan, it's all about the hate pegging.
All right, so Dan, you can only pick one. Which one?
It's going to be Greg.
Greg, okay.
Yeah.
That is actually 2 for Greg.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't trying to sway. He made his decision. I wasn't trying to sway because the decision was made. I was just letting him know that, like, in my opinion, that's just almost.
You're not wrong, Redbeard, but I mean, I'm sure eventually, somehow, it would come my way.
If you tried Solstice. If you tried Solstice, you would like it. But compared to some of the shit that you have had, that I have tried kind of stuff, you'd be like, it's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's aight. All right. It's aight.
Like that, I remember that ultra, the only one I've ever had in my life. That's that one of those extra small, stupid, tiny cans of beer. It's like, here, have a drink.
The
of
blind
beer.
man one.
Yeah. That was outrageous.
I'm sorry that my dark delicious stout has defeated your grape juice.
Hey, no, dude.
All right, Thank you, Dan.
There's still one more. There's 2 more votes.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had a Solstice in my fridge right now, I would be on that shit. Yeah.
All right, so Jamie wants to go to bed. Let's go, Jamie. Of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
Well, I think what I'm gonna have to do, like since you have to knock me down or put me down for something. Mark me down for Nick. I'll take Nick's beer.
Nice.
But when it comes down to it, fuck all your shitty beers. I'm gonna drink me some more.
Oh, you're getting ready for Edmonton there, Jamie.
That's
good for you.
All right, so
then he leaves. Nice.
Jamie took off.
That was great.
All right.
Like, I can't believe he actually has a bottle of that on hand. Sorry, Nick.
With that in mind, it's a tie between me and Greg.
Oh no!
Who do you think? Should we hold out for a proper winner and see what other people want, or
I was gonna say, is Nick the tiebreaker?
Nick's the tiebreaker.
Oh, he's going to abuse his power here.
Yeah, well, I voted.
Yeah, he's
for
going to
Jamie.
vote Lee and have a three-way.
No, I voted Jamie. That's why I'm saying there's a tie between me and Greg.
you know
I've
what?
had Greg. I've had Greg's beer. I was
So,
leaning towards Carrie's. I've had Solstice. Yeah, like, and there's just so many friggin' hazies out there. And honestly, Lee's sound like a disappointing IPA.
Have we had a tie before?
Nope. And I have not been
Really?
skunked before either.
So
fuck.
I think what that means is that Nick and I just have to cuvee our beers.
Exactly. That's what we'll do. We'll have a sour imperial stout. Actually, I've already finished my half hours on Earth and moved on to my next beer. So,
Me too.
So I noticed
would be so gross if you combine them. That would be so gross.
So yeah, like the question's already been asked. I might as well put myself up front center here while I talk about
Puts me
this
on
before
first.
I fall asleep. What is next week's beer has been asked by Mr. Lizak. We are gonna do another BYOB just because things are busy at work and I'm adapting to a new job, so I don't really want to go all the lengths of finding a beer, doing a beer history. But hey, why not do this idea? Bring your own beer, but it has to be a light beer. Now, that's open for interpretation. It could either be a light lager, or it could be a beer that just says light on it. Like anything that says light on it. Like even if it's part of its brand name. Light.
What kind of heresy is that?
So I'm thinking like Hugh John Hops Trailway has a Hugh John Hops light or something like that.
So like
that's
the
idea.
Do they still make Bud Light Platinum, which is like 6% or whatever the fuck?
I was gonna say like, there's gotta be some craft beer with light in its name.
Light. It has to be.
No, I gotta find that beer.
Light themed, light in the name, whatever. It has to be light, and that's open for interpretation to anybody. So
I like the open to interpretation part. I like that
open to interpretation. So whatever you bring has to associate with light somehow. Could even be like, oh, this name really means light bulb or some shit.
I'm gonna try the most. I'm gonna find the most stupid, obscure light reference
Do it.
in a beer. Yeah,
do it.
I like
it.
If
I knew this earlier, oh wait, hang on. No, I've got one. I've got one.
This is like a fun.
And it's 14.5%.
Nice. Perfect. You're really listening to the spirit of this whole thing.
It's got a light bulb on the can. It has a light bulb on the can. You said interpretation.
I did, didn't I?
That works.
So,
that works.
BYOB light beers. There
light
you go.
edition.
Light beers. It has to be like something to do with lights. Lights or be light or say light, etc. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, you know, people watching this, you need to ask yourself this question.
Each one of us must make up his own mind. It isn't easy. What do you think? What about drinking?
I like drinking.
Yeah, we all like drinking.
Yeah.
That's why we're
Drinking's good. It keeps you hydrated.
Exactly. God. All right. So I want to thank everybody who commented, especially Mr. Havana 40 ounce. Yes, malt liquor. We will do some at some point. Chris, off the 10. Hi, Jamie. Jamie for coming on, even though he's no longer with us. So thanks for watching, Mr. Two Viewers.
That's why he left.
We will. Yeah, Jamie died though. No. And then just have a moment of silence for half hours on Earth.
Let's get naked and smoke.
Yeah.